Alright, so for today's videos, I'm planning on uploading 3 if time allows it, but I'm focusing on 2 right now. The first one's more of a good news if you're one of those people who supports Tulsi Gabbard, kind of like me. But if you don't, then you might actually want to be focused on the next article, which I'll be focused on, regarding the amount of people that are in the debates and how only literally less than half already qualified for the debates in August, meaning, sorry, not August, September. So they have like a huge month hiatus to get all the stuff that they need to get, the fundraising, the qualification for the polls, and then I think by the 28th of August, I think that's what it was, I think it is, basically it's like around the end of August, they have to qualify before the September debates. But this one, if you're a huge Tulsi Gabbard fan, or if you actually prefer genuine politicians in general, it seems like good news to you. In this case, I wasn't able to watch the debates either Tuesday or Wednesday because unfortunately I don't have CNN on my cable box and it sucks, so I wasn't able to watch it. But I was going through my YouTube account and I noticed something from CNN. I'm thinking, oh, that's weird. I'm not subscribed to CNN, but whatever. Let's watch it. And I saw the title. It says Tulsi Gabbard. Basically, I think rips Kamala Harris's political record when it came to criminal justice reform. I'm thinking, okay, this should be good. I saw it, and I was blown away because no one even has the audacity to attack Harris, and she's been on the warpath ever since the first debate. So I was actually surprised. But the articles from Business Insider, it reads, "You owe them an apology." Tulsi Gabbard ripped into Kamala Harris at the Democratic debate over a controversial record on criminal justice. Now, there are some bullet points that I'm going to read over. That way you guys can get a little bit of understanding of what went on during that time. So the first one is, Representative Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii took Senator Kamala Harris to task over the California senator's controversial record on criminal justice in the second round of Democratic presidential debates. Harris is branding herself as a progressive prosecutor, poised to take on Trump, but she has faced scrutiny over her record as California's Attorney General and San Francisco's District Attorney. I'm concerned about this record of Senator Harris. She put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana, Gabbard said at the debate. Harris quickly defended herself against Gabbard's criticism, saying, "I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of the state of 40 million people, which became a national model." Representative Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii took Senator Kamala Harris to task over the California senator's controversial record on criminal justice in the second round of the Democratic presidential debates in Detroit, saying Harris owed an apology to the people her policies had impacted. Harris is branding herself as a progressive prosecutor poised to take on Trump, but she has faced scrutiny over the record as California's Attorney General and San Francisco's District Attorney, which included cracking down on truancy, defending the death penalty, and several cases of wrongful conviction, and allegedly ignoring survivors of clergy sexual abuse. I'm concerned about this record of Senator Harris. She put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana, Gabbard said at the debate. Gabbard continued, "She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California, and she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way." Harris quickly jumped to defend herself against Gabbard's criticism, saying, "I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of the state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done, and I'm proud of that work." She also seemed to take on a subtle dig at Gabbard herself, saying, "And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches and be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but doing the work of being in the position to use the power that I have to reform a system that is badly in need of reform." Gabbard, however, was not satisfied with Harris's defense of her record. She's saying, "When you're in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not, and worse yet in the case of those who are in death row, you blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so." Now, the Hawaii Congresswoman added, "There is no excuse for that, and the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology." While Harris said that she's always opposed the death penalty and was put in the position of having to execute it as an attorney general, Harris explicitly defended the death penalty in appealing a ruling from a judge who struck down California's capital punishment law as unconstitutional while she was in the position of attorney general in 2014, as reasons Elizabeth Nolan Brown noted on Twitter. And that concludes the article. But it might not seem like a big deal, but you have to understand that Kamala Harris might not be the best person to be nominated for presidency. I mean, when it comes to being a president, you have to make sure you don't have any. You pretty much have to be consistent. Now, some people change. I'll give them that. I'm pretty sure if you were to look back 10 years ago, you're not the same person you are today. I know I'm not. But you gotta understand when it comes to certain politicians, you gotta understand about the consistency. Bernie's a consistent guy. He's always been fighting for Medicare for all. He's always been fighting for free college and all that stuff. But is it what is it achievable? Is it a realistic goal? For me, it isn't. But I gotta respect Bernie for the fact that he's been consistent for many years. The fact that he hasn't done anything about it is another question. But I respect politicians that pretty much are consistent. I don't like Bernie. I mean, at least not anymore. But I gotta respect the guy that he's been consistent for most of his career. In the case of example, like let's say Hillary Clinton, they basically memed her the flip flopper Hillary, flip flopper Clinton, whatever you want to call it, because in short amounts of time she's been flip flopping from this. She says one thing and then the next time she says another, and that's pretty much the reason why a lot of people didn't like her. She wasn't consistent. She didn't have any sense of believability. So Gabbard, like I said, she sounds genuine, and Kamala Harris, she doesn't seem like a very consistent person. Now this is 2014. We're talking about 5 years from 5 years ago. That's a really short time span. If we're talking about like 10 years or maybe even more than 10 years, then that's understandable. Times are different. Trust me. I tell you right now, 2019 is a lot different than 2009. That's for sure. In 2009, you can say age your jokes. You could say, you can make fun of people, and people wouldn't cry about it. People wouldn't be offended over everything. 10 years ago, people weren't as offended. 20 years ago, people would tell you any joke and you were expected to suck it up, and if not, you were a huge crybaby. Nowadays, anyone's offended in 2019. So that's the thing. If it's 5 years, if it's less than a decade, then I'm very skeptical of the individual. But if we're talking about 10 years or more, then I'm willing to give them a free pass, because again, a decade ago we weren't all the same people. I was not the same 10 years ago. I'm pretty sure you weren't the same 10 years ago. But I like this little saying because again, Tulsi Gabbard, I'm supporting her. But unfortunately, in this article, we'll be talking about a little bit of a more sad news type of thing if you support Tulsi Gabbard. But Tulsi Gabbard is genuine. She's the type of person who isn't going to be starting. I would say she isn't going to be starting, problems. She looks like that person. I could be wrong, but she also looks like the person that isn't going to take things lying down either. In the case of Harris, she already attacked Harris earlier. Like I think obviously it's August. She actually attacked Kamala Harris before yesterday's and pretty much yesterday's debate. She attacked her by saying that Kamala Harris was not qualified to be president of the United States because she doesn't have any experience on foreign policy. Gabbard does, and I gotta acknowledge that. Gabbard does. She does serve in some caucuses and committees in the House that revolve around foreign policy. Harris hasn't been involved in any of those things. So I gotta consider: do I choose a woman with experience or a woman without experience? And yeah, you can say, well, Carlos, what does gender have to do with this? But the point is here, Gabbard and Kamala Harris is clear she's an identitarian. It's clear that she always plays the race card or the woman card. But in this case, Harris can't use those cards. She can't use the race card because Tulsi Gabbard is Samoan. So she can't use the race card, and she can't use the sexist card either because Gabbard is a woman. So what's next? Experience. I prefer a woman with experience than a woman without experience, and that's why I prefer to support Tulsi Gabbard over Kamala Harris. And not to mention, Tulsi Gabbard has now gone after Harris again in the debates last night because she thinks that Kamala Harris is a huge hypocrite. She projects this whole progressive prosecutor type of thing, when in reality she did a lot of controversial stuff during her time as Attorney General and San Francisco District Attorney. And Harris, if you watch the video on CNN, it's pretty hysterical to watch, honestly. For me, it was hysterical. I was just laughing because Harris, you could tell that she was knocked down. She was knocked down. When she was responding, she wasn't looking at the camera. She was talking sideways, not even looking at the camera. And I was like, yeah, you know what? It's clear that you know about this and you don't want to talk about it. And that's what happens. When people don't want to talk about something, they try to change the subject. They try to bring it back to them and all that stuff. And then she's looking around everywhere, but not the camera. So I could tell that that Gabbard dealt a good blow. Was it enough to topple down Harris and knock her down for the count? I doubt it. Harris has a lot more support. Tulsi Gabbard is barely making enough, and it really sucks. It really is sad, but hey, that's the way things are. Eventually, I don't know. Like I said, maybe Gabbard could run again in 2024, but as of right now, I think her chances of winning the nomination are very slim. Like I said, fingers crossed, but I'm not keeping my hopes up anytime soon. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Gabbard did a good? Do you think she landed a good blow on Harris after criticizing Kamala Harris's record when she was Attorney General and San Francisco District Attorney? Do you think this moment is going to be enough to get Tulsi Gabbard enough support in order to get into the next debate? Let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, smash the like button. Share the video. That's the best thing you can do. And since YouTube has decided to not basically rank independent political commentary, you sharing the video and liking the video does help out a lot. If you're new to this channel, subscribe, hit the notification button as well, that way you never miss an upload. And hopefully you guys can stick around for the next segment. Hopefully 2 out of 3, and if not, unfortunately it's going to be 2 out of 2. But the second one is going to be politics, and the third one is going to be about entertainment. I know, it's like, Carlos, you always talk about politics. I know, I'm a huge fan of entertainment, and hopefully you guys will be sticking around for the third segment, that is if I can do it. And it's going to be about the internet's favorite boyfriend. I think that's what they call him. But you'll figure it out once I get to the video. Alright? So hopefully you guys can stick around for the next segment. If you can't, have a good rest of the day, you guys. Until next time, have a good rest of the day.